So this is a voiceover for a video that I put on YouTube. It's okay. So the video doesn't really start for like I don't know, like I hope it's less than a minute. But it's my process has become, because I have a smaller drawing table. My process has become that I do a lot of my backgrounds in Clip Studio Paint. Clip Studio Paint has great perspective rulers, and the thing is, I learned perspective back in 1,000 years ago in the day at School of Visual Arts. And hold on, let me mute this sucker because it's loud and I don't want the sound coming through. Anyway, so I learned perspective 1,000 years ago at the School of Visual Arts with my teacher Sally Mandola, and it was very enlightening. Learning all the little ways you can find the center objects and measure out rooms using squared tiled floors and tiled backgrounds, and making it so that all the tiles are exact same size and shape, blah blah blah, all that good stuff. So I learned that stuff 1,000 years ago, and what I didn't like is that rooms could not contain vanishing points. Sometimes vanishing points will go so far away that you need like several rulers to get it to work, and I could not do that. So I started using Clip Studio Paint, and they do have perspective rulers. Right now I'm moving the rulers around, trying to find the vanishing points. Have to zoom in and out several times to try to make sure that the horizon line is in the right place. I learned later on, because this is a 3-point perspective, I learned later on that if I unmoor the horizon line, then just moving the points to match the sketched grid, you don't have to pay attention to where the horizon line is, because it'll move. It's unmoored. That's what that word means. Anyway, so now I'm trying to find the left vanishing point. I think I'm being super nitpicky. I think I remember after because I made a grid that was imperfect. So I had to adjust to make it actually look like something. And by the time I realized that I was following a grid that wasn't right, I just decided to make a square in shape, in space, that would match what the ship is doing. I don't think I'm at that point yet. I think it takes me a little while to figure out that I am effed. So yeah, now I'm searching for the right hand vanishing point. The third is a little easier because it isn't attached to the horizon line. So once you try to find a shape, it'll find where the vanishing point is based on whatever grid you're using. So you can see here, I'm actually moving the right vanishing point in association with the direction of the ship. It kind of ends up making it look like the ship is flying into the building, which is fine, because while I was doing it, my reasoning was that it doesn't have to be one-to-one. It doesn't have to be literal. It's basically she's going to the structure which was established in earlier pages, where this council of space beings exist. And I just needed them to know that she's in a ship, which is established for several pages before, and that the ship is going to where the council beings are. So okay, I found my vanishing points. I thought I did more, but I guess I did it. Okay, so I found my vanishing point, and what I start to do is I start to sketch out what the forms, the shapes. What's a good word? The structures, the masses, and what masses are going to fit within this frame. It's a megastructure, and it was established in, I think I mentioned that, it was established in earlier pages. So I do have a design to work from, but I need to have the recognizable parts fit within this space. Um, and I think I did it. I think I did it well. This is me from the future, of course. So I'm uh, I I I quite like how it came out. Um, but yeah, so now I'm just trying to find the forms, try to find the shapes that will make up the main recognizable structure. Okay, this is where the perspective class comes in, because to find the center of a shape, and this is a shape that's symmetrical, to find the center of a shape, um, you draw across from um, external corners of the square you make, because it's all perspective is all boxes until you uh, turn things into other things from those boxes. So the center of the box is made from making an X that goes from one corner, opposite corners of the box, and where the lines from those opposite corners meet, is the center of that shape. And you can break it into smaller boxes by drawing lines from that center X, through the square to their corresponding vanishing points. Now, what I'm doing here is um, because the X makes the center of that square. Um, both sides of that square that are straddling the center are mirror images of themselves. So you will find the same line in the other side of that square. Make it more confusing than it is. You'll find the same line outside of the square by where it intersects the crossbars. If that makes sense. You're seeing as I'm doing it. Um, I don't know. Something making my throat. I have a bit of a Demi Moore going on. My voice is a bit raspier than it usually is. But yeah, so yeah, the design of the building is one that has these diagonal shapes, and I found a way to mirror them by making the center point, drawing um, a line where the diagonal would cut into the shape, and then um, and the mirror on the other side. So yeah, and now I'm using a different ink on a different layer where I'm trying to enunciate, emphasize the lines that I want to keep. I do this one more time. Yeah, that's where it read the wrong vanishing point. I do this on a couple of layers, because I do this to kind of the first blue layer is like a sketch layer. That's where I just kind of throw lines around, try to do as much freehand drawing as I can. And then the next layer, which is this layer, is the red line, where it's still sketching, but I'm following the lines that I made in the blue layer. And so I'll still have areas where I draw through, as you can see here. I'm trying to find the other side of that diagonal, um, making sure everything is on the up and up. You can see where that goes through. There you go. Um, I'll still draw through. I'll still do a lot of sketching, but it's more structured. There's more intention where lines are gonna be um, inked when I do my final ink layer. But it's still a layer where I can f around, where I can make mistakes and just kind of sketch. So yeah, this this takes this takes me less time than if I were doing it on paper. I absolutely enjoy doing it on paper now. I hated doing backgrounds. I still don't love doing backgrounds, but now that I have this tool to help, um, it's less scary. Like I'll say, oh, I have to do a big background on this page, and then I'll just say, I'll just do it in Clip Studio, because what really happens is having having the having the space to send your vanishing points almost to the other side of the world is amazing. It really opens up things. It makes it so that it's if I find that an angle is really weird, I don't have to think. Because seriously, what happens is um, you have a drawing table, or if you're doing things traditionally, which I do, you have a drawing table. And the drawing table exists in space at a certain shape and size. My drawing table right now is smaller than I'm used to. It's I think it's 2436. Um, I've had a 42 inch table. It might not even. It's got to be 36 because it can't be. It can't be. It's not 18 by 24, so it's a 2436. Um, I've had a 3644 or 42 or whatever table before, and yeah, I got rid of that layer. I wasn't paying attention, so I don't really quite know why. I think right now I'm making the sketch layer um more permanent, not permanent. What's the word? Well, I think I'm trying to find where things are. Yeah, because the red layer went over the sketch layer, and I'm sure the sketch layer was a little sketchier than I wanted to be. So now I'm trying to work out where the other structures are going to lay, and redefining that sketch layer, the first blue layer, with a darker line, so that um, I'm not using the wrong corners to make centers and things is important. Um, I think I'm trying to find a darker color for that layer. Um, so what was I saying? Oh, yes. When you're doing perspective on a table, the table's certain size, certain shape. So when you're trying to find your vanishing points, if you don't have the means to, you know, glue two or three rulers together to make your vanishing point or the space. I was using my wall at one point to do it, and that was fun, but I didn't have enough rulers, so I couldn't make the vanishing points too far apart. But if you don't have the means to do that, then you have to figure other ways to make it look like the vanishing points are far away. So that means some things are going to be just parallel lines. And figuring out those tricks requires brain work, and sometimes you just want or just need to get the page finished, and having to, figure these things out, having to, formulate a, a, a solution isn't all isn't where your brain meats are taking you. So having this help you make infinite vanishing points is the bee's knees. And again, it does help with making it so that you don't have to think a lot. Okay, I'm making other buildings. There are smaller structures in front of the I'm gonna call them the angled buildings. The what are we gonna call them? The trapezoids. Um, and again, I use those crossbars, those diagonals, to make a mirror image of the building in front of the other building. Um, but yeah, ooh, sorry. It's like 2 a.m. Um, so yeah, I'm making these buildings, and I'm kind of carving them out one by one. Um, though the advantage of doing everything traditionally, of doing your perspective on board or on paper to be transferred to your board, is that stuff looks chunky, looks fake, looks well, actually, ironically, looks real, um, because you're making you're making human mistakes. I mean, there's ways to make human mistakes in a Clip Studio Paint as well. Um, Sometimes you don't quite make the diagonal in the right place, like your line, the what's it called, the parallax. Your stylus doesn't always land where it's supposed to, so minute changes will make certain lines not line up. Maybe I'll make a video on perspective because there's a way that you could keep trying to find the edge of a box, and because somewhere the lines didn't match up right, you'll be making this spiral where you'll just keep making lines that don't meet. The box doesn't. It becomes infinity box. Um, okay, so I'm making a diagonal so I could the find the corresponding side of this three-sided uh, rectangle. And what you do is you send the line through the center line that you made already from the diagonal, and it will find the end of that other box. That's going to be exactly the other side of the diagonal you made. What I'm probably going to do is I'm gonna make two diagonals. Nice. Um, oh, I didn't even have to have it. I didn't have to have it go up. It's right there, dude. Oh well. Anyway, I used the edge, top edge, type diagonal to find the mirror opposite of that square, and I made a building from that. The building goes back into the distance because I wanted some that go behind. Um, yeah, I'm trying to find all the sides of this box. I'm having them go behind the trapezoid. Am I still recording? I am. Look at that, 16 minutes through. Um, so yeah, the working on perspective drawings in traditional real world, non-digital, non-virtual world, um, you you're gonna find ways to fudge things, and it's more true to life that way because the way your eyes take in information, you you see things, you understand what things are, so your brain fills in the gaps. Um, you don't see every single detail of what you see around you. Um, because one is you have a field of vision, and two is everything you're seeing is based on perception. It's like based on what you're understanding you're seeing. So um, you're not going to see row of a perfect row of windows when you see a cityscape. You're going to see a bunch of shapes that you perceive to be windows. So it's not exact. It's not perfect. And what the digital perspective does is it makes it perfect. It does make it really kind of. I mean, it's nice. It's as in terms of humans seeing patterns and making out shapes. It is nice to see the organization, but it feels better. It feels more real when everything is a bit fudged, not quite off, not quite wrong, but not not all that correct. See, I'm using the diagonals again to measure out a building in the front. I switched colors so that I could see what basically what I'm doing, because now it's just a mass of lines, and I'm sure when I was doing this I understood it better than what I'm looking at now, because I'm kind of like, wait, what building did I do? What did I do now? But it's, yeah, there are a couple buildings in the front, and you can see one of the buildings falls way below where the panel edge is. You can see the black line of the edge of the panel. You're only going to get one of these buildings in this panel, not both of them. How it's done and what it looks like finished, I'll probably put that somewhere too. What it looks like finished is I don't think it looks like, while I was doing this, I felt like because you only get part of that building, it's gonna look lopsided, like it's gonna feel heavy. I don't think it does. Maybe I'm wrong. I mean, because I'm looking at it, even looking at it now. I'm looking at the sketch, and I'm feeling like it feels heavy on one side because you see one building, and the other building is obscured by the edge of the panel. Okay, so this is when I was experimenting because I wanted to add the diagonals to those green buildings in the front there, but I wanted them to match these. So what you could do with the diagonal is you can add a vanishing point and add a vanishing point that is your diagonal vanishing point. And that is one that is attuned to all the diagonals. All the diagonals in your piece are basically if all the cubes and all the rectangles are um, going to the same vanishing point, then all your diagonals should go to the same diagonal point. Every single diagonal in your piece should go to the same diagonal point. Um, and that was my intention. But once I started doing it and once I started messing around, I think I take even longer than I should have on this. And while I was doing it, I was like, I'm putting this on YouTube, and people are gonna see me struggling, figuring this out, and saying, "What the f are you doing? What are you doing?" Yeah, like I'm trying to find where this goes without remembering that it's I have to send it from the corner. I have to send the lines um, from a corner through a corner, and that's where my diagonals will be made. But yeah, it very possible it was late at night, so so I'm struggling trying to figure out how to do this to make it quicker, make it work better. But I'll give up soon and realize I'm just gonna make the diagonal by eye and then just match it on the other side. Actually, I didn't even have to match on the other side because you only see one side, right? Do I match it? I wonder if I match it on the other side. That's weird. I don't remember. Anyway, um, yeah, this is me. This is me futzing around. I'll give up soon, and get back to doing something that's actually going to be part of the finished piece. Yeah, I got to think of where I'm gonna put the finished piece. Actually, I could upload it to YouTube, right? Sure. I think I'll upload it as an image on the YouTubes. Okay, so did I figure it out? Did I give up? Come on, man, give up. Give up, man, give up. Give up. What did John McGurk say? Nothing in life is worth fighting for. Was it no? Nothing in life is worth working hard for. Something like that. I'm paraphrasing the great American philosopher and soccer coach John McGurk from Home Movies. Okay, there we go. I figured out my diagonal. Boop. There you go. Let's see. Am I going to match it? I think so. That's what that line would be. Me matching it. Am I going to figure out that I don't have to? Maybe I made the diagonal anyway, just for continuity's sake. I think I made it anyway, just for the sake of continuity. I mean, I didn't, or did I realize? I'm like, oh wait, this is not in the frame, so why care? Is that me noticing that? Let's see. I think so. Let's see. Is it? No, I'm still doing it. Okay. I think I'm doing it for the sake of continuity, for the sake of building building the other square that's in the panel. Because it does help. Sometimes you draw off out of the picture plane if you're drawing outside the picture plane to um, to help with finding the structures that you need to make. I don't know if I need to be doing all this, but what the hell? Let them cook. Do. What are you doing? Oh God, you're doing freaking trigonometry now, aren't you? Okay, so bring that over. Oh, wrong way. Wait. Yep, yeah, I didn't notice that I was going up. There you go. Then drag that out. There you go. Top plane, side plane, front. So that, see, the thing is, the diagonal is almost the same angle as the, what is it, the right hand vanishing point. So that happened with the top one too. So it just, I was trying to find a way that maybe it would not match that line, but it matches that line. I think that line's off too. I think I was looking at the wrong side. That's not where that line is. Let's see if I fix it. Yeah, I think oh, maybe not. Is it? Oh no, maybe I'm wrong. Anyway, so yeah, I figured that guy out. I think, is there another building? I'm like wondering. I okay, now I'm working out where that's gonna go. I think I do. Do I do more red? Let's see. This is all a surprise to me. Like, it's, I don't know who drew this shit. Excuse my French. Who drew this stuff? Okay, I am doing a red line version of all this stuff. Um, yeah, I'm doing a red line version of the whole thing. It does help in um, formulating how the black lines are going to work, and the black lines help for when I um, when I print it and ink. All right, let me fill this in with a weird little story. So I don't know when I saw this. It has to have been up. I just figured it out. I think. Yeah, I just figured it out. Um, it must have been college when I saw, how do you say, Daniel Klaus? Daniel Klaus. I saw his okay, just so I can see it better. I saw his preliminary sketches for when he does a book, his stuff, and it kind of let me off the hook in terms of how much preparation I could do for making pages, because whatever preparation I do, Daniel Klaus does more. Like he did in school. I did sketches on tracing paper, full size page sketches. Later, I figured out how, if I draw everything smaller, half size, um, there it is. If I draw everything half size, I can take it to a photocopier, blow it up, and then lightbox the half size, and it takes me less time because I'm not drawing a full size page. This is before I had the means to photocopy the stuff at home, so it did require me to, draw all my sketches, going to the city, photocopy everything 200%, and then bring it back home to do my work. So there was an element of preparation, having to do things at a certain time, so I'd have the time to actually travel and get them copied. Anyway, um, I saw that Daniel Klaus, I never remember how to say his name. He would do a tracing paper sketch, and then I think he'd do one or two more sketches after the tracing paper sketch to refine the images he did in a tracing paper sketch, which I thought was insane. I'm like, wow. One of the things I really was trying to develop um, as a as a as a baby cartoonist was speed. I wanted to make things faster, so the photocopy half page thing was faster because I could see. One is the thing, and the thing I still say today as my excuse for doing half page sketches is I can see the whole page easier. when you're doing a full size page, you have to step back because the pages. I used a 14 by 17 inch paper. 11 by 17 was the standard at the time. It's a large piece of paper, so you have to step back to take in the whole thing. You do it half size, you see all the composition um, better, like in your field of view. It's like having a larger thumbnail, but it's big enough that you can elaborate on certain ideas you have when making a thing. Okay, so now I am making a red line sketch for the buildings closer up. Um, yeah, still working through where their geometry is and all that stuff. Anyway, um, so my thought is anytime I do extra preparation on a page, it'll still be less preparation than Daniel Klaus does on his pages. So I allow myself to figure certain things out better, just to make sure that when I start drawing these things, um, I'm not left in the lurch. I'm not, thinking, oh, how does this work now? It's all the thought came in the preliminary stage. I got that from I was taught by Gil Ashby too, amazing illustrator. He got on me because he believed that I could do um, better likenesses than I could. I guess I can, and I think something that came to me after I graduated and after I left was that um, I think a lot of my problems with using reference and using um, say photo reference or just images of people to get the drawings right, or even just costumes or equipment, is my anxiety with getting it correct. And it was correct in terms of what I thought was correct because sometimes you can see if you're doing something wrong. Hey, I'm doing Windows. Um, you can see if you're doing something wrong and you're the only one to see it and you're the only one there. There's nobody else around you. So there's nobody else to kind of talk you off the ledge, say, no, it's fine. So my problem with likenesses was the fact that I wasn't liking what I was making. And as a lot of my art is that I didn't like what I was making. So I would just keep going. I would scrap things and redo it, scrap things, redo it. Um, but Gil Ashby said, get it right in the sketch. All your work gets in the sketch. Get everything right in the sketch. And the implication is that if you get it all right in the sketch, you don't have to worry about doing it. You don't have to worry about it being right in the drawing because you got it right already. You just follow what the sketch gives you. All your work is in the sketch. Um, Years later, who was it who said this? Um, was it the guy who created Zippo the what's it? Zippy the Pinhead? Zippy the Pinhead? I forgot the name of the artist. Forgive me because I forgot your name. But I read a blog or an interview you had, um, and it put all that stuff that Gil Ashby said, even wordlessly, Daniel Klaus exhibited, is the process in which you draw comics is think, 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 ink. All all your planning, everything you do that requires um, problem solving and um, real brain power um, comes with the sketching, penciling, as they say in the states, the penciling phase, um, and then inking is not that. Inking is putting weight on it, giving it life. Um, I was also taught, and I tell this to people um, who I talk to, either voluntarily or stop in the street and just start talking about art and drawing. Um, I had a lot of people tell me that inking and even drawing but I took it to being about inking mostly because I love inking. It's about making choices, making decisions, um, and it is about what the focus is on. I mean, this all comes down to drawing stage two. It's all part of the thinking part of drawing, um, composition, um, light, lighting, all that stuff. But since inking is what people see finally, unless it's colored, but even with color, the color has to follow the inks. Inks have to dictate what happens with the color. Um, all your the final decisions that people are going to see comes from the inking. At least in terms of, I graduated in 1998, so inking was still important back then. Anyway, um, my point is that it's all about making choices. I was gonna say decisions, but I think the better word is choices. I think decisions feel like you have something in front of you and you, even though it's the rooted word, you choose one or the other. You have these things in front of you, and I think that's decisions. I think choices feels more like something self-inflicted. I don't know. It's something to think about. Um, but everything is about decisions. Everything's about choices. Line weight, light source. Oops, did you forget that's not a building? Yes, you forgot that wasn't a building. Um, I'm making these little spires on the top. Um, After Star Wars, I think it's the what you call it. Actually, everything is Star Wars. There's all these little newly bits of crap that are just on top of things. Um, just antenna. These are. I had the idea that because it's a mega structure, I had to make sure it looked like it was something large. I think I accidentally. Oh no, I'm about to ink it. I needed to look like there's something that gives the larger areas um, mass. So my my self canon, my the story I had in my head is that those little things are the people, the poorer people who are not allowed inside the structure. Nope, try again, homeboy. Um, the people who are not allowed in the structure have over the years um, made tinier individual structures on top, kind of like stalactites. So over the years, over the centuries, over the millennia, the more people who were there, the more people who built on top would just make these little spires, and after more time, eventually the buildings would keep growing. So those little tiny spires are kind of like the sprouts of what would be more of these buildings, and the structure would just keep growing because people would keep going to this area. Um, I have this love of waste in science fiction, um, where you have something that you use, but having a um, instead of having a sort of economical, smart way of making these things, um, there's always going to be some kind of threadbare, you know, uh, waste of structure, waste of material that's used to have something be just a little less than perfect. And I think I wanted those little those little those little sprouts to give that amount of imperfection to these kind of mirrored symmetrical obelisks, these structures. And then it's a little bit of it's always going to be under construction. It's that bit of yellow tape. that goes across the whole thing. It's like this won't be open until September of 2027. So these lines, um, my thinking behind this is that because I'm gonna light boxes, um, I'm not gonna have to do every single line in the digital uh, frame, the digital world, because I am gonna light boxes and transfer into paper, but I needed enough of them so that while I'm doing this by eye, because there are gonna be more lines, while I'm doing this by eye, I need something to follow because it's not like if I were doing this in the real world from scratch, this probably wouldn't be a lot of this might be isometric, meaning that all the lines going in certain directions would just be parallel to each other, and the front of the buildings could easily just be parallel lines. Um, it would be probably just as fine. The problem is I would know. Um, so these lines are going to a vanishing point. I know that. So in when I bring it to the real world, when I pull it out of the computer, um, so I needed enough of them so that when I start fudging some of these lines, I have enough of them to kind of direct me in which which way the line's going to go. So right now it is about giving myself indications indicators as to where I'm gonna take this when I pull it out of the computer. It's not a one to one. I think in the real world, I have to look at the page again. I think in the real world, the real page, I do put a line that's parallel to the diagonal. I found that it's easier to do an impromptu ad libbed. No, ad lib it um, connotates that it's being said. Um, improvised. There you go. I could do an improvised line easier with a ruler than I can with this program. So the diagonal lines, when I try to do a diagonal line improvised, so that it matches that it's doing a parallel to that line, it's a lot harder. It doesn't look as good. It doesn't match the same diagonal. But if I do it with a ruler, it would match the diagonal better. I think I sort of forgot that there's a building there. It's bad to have building there. There is in the design I did earlier. There is a building there, and I think I put it in there because it's supposed to be there. And I do have that part of me which is like, okay, this is supposed to be where it is. Um, but I'm not sure if it's better, if the art is better with it being there than actually, is it even in the panel? Oh yeah, it's in the panel. That's the what you call it. It's not the panel board. That's the diagonal. Um, yeah, there's parts of me that are like, okay, that's the downside of the plan. Is that the plan was there. I followed the plan to a T, and sometimes the plan is wrong, and I won't divert from the plan. And I mean, I don't. The stuff doesn't. It's nothing bad. It's not a It's not a. It's not a wrong choice. It's just not optimal. Like it's not the best. It could be better. But I stick to the plan because the plan is what got me through it. So the plan is a go. Looks like I'm about to wrap this guy up. I do a line across just so I can get the height of these spires on top. Just part of my probably part of my neurodivergence, but I really needed those lines to be the same height. But yeah, I think I do the lines across those. Yeah, I do those last. Those are the middle building. I could have swore I made that taller, but I guess not. Um, Again, the plan had it so that it's that short, but I'm looking at now. It should be a little taller. I should have had it come up. So that's it. That's the sketch. Um, I didn't. I didn't. I didn't film drawing and inking the piece on paper. I probably should have. I didn't feel like having to set this whole thing up. Um, but the yeah, I'm gonna post the finished drawing on YouTube. I'll post it as an image. But yeah, afterwards I penciled with a ruler, using a light table. Um, I penciled and inked it. I inked it with microns mostly. I think I started using with this one particular. I started using a Pitt zero point 0.1 line for the thinner lines. Um, I think I just saved it. Yeah. Um, yeah. There you go. That's how I sketch things in Clip Studio Paint. Um, yeah. If you like this, come back for more. I'll have more. Hopefully, I'll have some that are done outside the computer. I'll do some traditional art too. All right. Thanks for watching, guys. See you later. Bye.